Hello, my name is James Michael Wagner,
And I'm John Christopher Wagner.
and together we make up the formidable writing duo
Forgature.
And we're here to talk to you about something today, and we're going to do it in a way that we haven't done before. So this is actually something new, and we hope this will be one of many. And this is the audio post.
Yes, this is something new we're going to try. We feel we'll be able to have a more personal connection with our followers and all others out there in internet land as opposed to just cold posts like normal. And we're hoping to upload this to all our social media accounts. So hopefully this will go well and we'll do more of them.
And just for the record, our social media accounts include X, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
So the first thing we're going to talk, today's topic will be book length. Specifically shorter books. So we're going to therefore start off talking about our book.
Now, as you may or may not know, our story, Against Tyranny, the Tablet of Omainu, Book 1, Part 1, is a noble, dark, and quest fantasy novella or novella. I think I've heard both. And it's around 12,300 words. Okay, I think you can say something now.
Okay. So as you can tell from that, it's shorter than a novel, obviously, and especially for a fantasy book, it's shorter. But that's okay. So what the plan is with it is we want to have 3 books, but each book would be split in half, so you would have 6 books in total. And if you took those 6 books and combined them together, you would get the length of a novel, because we anticipate that each part would be around the same length.
And we feel that this type of length for us is our greatest strength. That we're not that good at writing longer things. You know, it seems like writing shorter stuff is more like in our wheelhouse.
So you can think of these as like bite-size books or fun size.
Yes, but we don't skimp on the quality. So it's all the tasty goodness, but in a smaller package.
Yeah, so if you like the fun size candy bars, this is kind of like that, but in book form. So then, of course, this shorter format does work because there are other shorter books that exist that are like this. And one of them would be The Product by Marina Fontaine, which is published by Conservatarian Press.
And if we pronounced her name wrong, we apologize.
And this book it's a sci-fi dystopian.
Yes, so totally different genre and stuff from ours.
And it's just a little longer than ours, but it's like in the same ballpark range.
Yes.
And then another comparable book in length form is The Green Mile by Stephen King. Dale, that was released in 6 volumes, just like what we're planning on doing, and each volume was a little longer than what our volume is currently. But when you combine them all together, because they were combined into one book eventually, they became the length of a novel. And of course, ours wouldn't be that long when combined together, I don't think. But the idea is the same.
Yes, these 2 examples show that there is a market for shorter works like this. And we've done some research, and it seems like that market's actually growing or getting bigger, even for fantasy, too. That not everybody wants the big, massive, like, epics. Now, that's still really popular, but there's more people now who want shorter, I guess you could say more accessible books, too.
Yes. Now, the audience, obviously, for longer format books, especially fantasy books like Game of Thrones, The Lord of the Rings, and The Wheel of Time, actually, Game of Thrones would be more A Song of Fire and Ice, would be the series name. Most people know it as Game of Thrones.
Or is it Ice and Fire?
It's A Song of Ice and Fire, I believe. So with those three examples, is that they prove that the audience for longer format fantasy books is still there, and that's, I think, what most of them want. But like James said, when we were looking on the internet, we found out that there are people who are looking for shorter fantasy series or even fantasy stories that are just one novel because they don't want the big long ones. Because the longer series can scare some people because it's overwhelming to them. When you have like novels and the novellas and short stories, and then you have like world building books and things like that, that could become scary to some people, and they just then stay away from them. They don't even attempt it because they don't have the time. So it seems like there's an audience growing for shorter works in that regard.
Yes, it's becoming a more profitable niche, we think. And like he even touched upon that there's a lot of reasons for this. Like, the people out there who are like who would fit the Madonna song Ray of Light, where you're super busy and you don't have the time to slow down, or you have the people who are like John Nash from A Beautiful Mind, who are not everybody's like that, where you're obsessed with putting everything together and like really complicated things. Some people aren't down with that.
Now, there's nothing wrong with long format stuff because obviously there's a lot of people who like it and they're into the complex world building and intricate stories, and they like making charts and graphs and to help them understand the story, and doing the John Nash stuff with pins in the wall with strings attaching concepts together. But there are a lot of people who don't want to do that, so they want shorter, more simplistic things.
And then you have the people who are just, like I said, who are too busy. And that could be because of your job. For example, like you work at the Quick Stop and you're too busy making salsa sharks, or you're too busy watching Randall Graves make salsa sharks because you're watching Clerks.
And that's actually another good point. Back in the old days, where you didn't have as much entertainment options, so all you had was reading, and you had plays and some other things like maybe music, but you didn't have TV or streaming or anything. So a lot more people like longer stuff because that's all they had. But nowadays, again, you're busy with responsibilities, but you also have entertainment options like streaming, movies, virtual reality, video games, computer games, and all kinds of stuff. So you want shorter things to fit into your lifestyle better. The longer things don't do that. And we can attest for personal experience that that's what we like, because we tend to shy away from longer books and video games, and we like to do or play shorter ones because that way we can play many more different or things or read many more different things than instead of watching or playing one long thing. Because if they're shorter, we could do more things than, because if they're longer, you do less things if they're longer. So we like to go the shorter route because it gives us more variety, and there seems to be a lot more people out there who think the same way.
So, in short, we feel your pain. And that's why we think our novella or novella seems to fit the bill.
Because seems to fit in with the more current or modern lifestyle.
Yes.
Because it allows you to jump in and out more than having to set aside or sacrifice a huge amount of time to do it.
Yes. Because that's the way our lifestyle is usually. So basically, what we're saying is it's made by people like that for people like that.
Yeah, our book, we designed it to fit in line with our lifestyle, in both reading and writing, so it should fit in with a lot of other people's as well.
Because length doesn't always mean something is good.
No, it does not. Length doesn't always mean good. There could be long things that are bad as well, and for short things, there could be short things that are good too. It just matters. What matters is the quality, and if it's good or not, or it's enjoyable or not.
Yeah, as long as you make it professional, and we tried to do that.
Yeah, because good things can come in small packages.
Yes, like I said that earlier. So we just tried to do our best with this, and we want to just throw our hat in the ring, and hopefully it sticks.
Yeah, it just went through the same process, same professional process as a novel or a regular or a longer book. The only difference is that it's shorter. So I guess that's about all we have to.
Yeah, I think we basically covered everything we wanted to.
Oh, also for people, like he mentioned Ray of Light by Madonna as well, that also another song would be Manic Monday for super busy people as well.
Yeah, because you can never have enough examples. More examples, the better. That's what I always say.
Yeah, so for Ray of Life and Manic Monday people, our book fits for you.
Yes, it does. So I think now we can pretty much end this. So thank you for checking out this audio podcast, dear listeners. And if we're live to later, then we'll see you in the next one. So always remember to forge on.
Forge on.